Welcome to the XP Guild. I'm Bill.
I'm Dave, and this time around, we are going to build Bill's character. Last time we did mine, and I have to have a partner in crime, as we say. We're going to start out with the generation of Bill's character.
Yeah, so far I'm leaning towards, and I believe I'm pretty much settled on doing a bard character. Again, we're doing thief-like characters. We're part of a thieves guild in the city of Umberhaven. So I bounced around a lot. Like I was thinking maybe monk, maybe just going regular rogue and going standard there, or maybe bard. I'm leaning towards bard because the versatility of bard, they get a lot of skills, get a lot of things like that. Also, Dave's character's not the most charismatic.
Absolutely not.
And not the most perceptive. So I think those are two areas I'd like to be able to plug in the holes of for this group.
And we're kind of leaning toward less combat oriented game. If we get caught, if there's some stuff that happens, there will be combat. But we're going to try to avoid that as much as possible.
So that's kind of the idea of this, to kind of aim for that, fill in these roles. Combat orientated monk probably would have been great. Like I was thinking eventually go shadow monk, be a super infiltrator, but at level 1, 2, 3, or 1 and 2, you're really not bringing in a lot of that like flavor of that in. So we're bard, I start off right away with some abilities, some charisma, some stuff like that. So I think that's kind of the general realm we're going to aim for as far as that goes.
So last character build, I already had gotten caught. I was a criminal, and we pretty much toyed around with two backgrounds, which was criminal and urchin. And since I was going to be the criminal, Bill was going to choose urchin.
Yeah, I like the feel of this anyways for being a kind of a face sort of person. My thought is that I grew up on the streets, eventually ended up in this orphanage, and it was kind of one of those things where it's like kind of just had to make my way through the streets, but I did that partially by being quiet and stealthy and being able to like pickpocket and do things like that, but also by my personality, my ability to like scam people or to convince them that they needed to help me, whatever, that sort of mentality. And I could see like a little street urchin like scamming people out of their money or convincing them that they had to feed him because he was, a poor starving orphan, or his mom was sick at home and couldn't take care of him, so he needed some bread to bring back to his mom, sort of a thing. So definitely thinking urchin. And for that, I'm going to get stealth and sleight of hand as background skills, as well as a disguise kit, which is pretty fun. And also I will get a thieves tools as those abilities. My background feature I'm going to get is city secrets. I know the flow to cities and can find passages through the urban sprawl, which is very cool. I'm very good at moving around the city. The other part of that is when not in combat, myself and companions I lead can travel between any two locations in the city twice as fast as your speed would normally allow. So that's a fun little addition.
And also maybe why I might have indoctrinated you into the Thieves Guild known as the Labyrinth.
Sounds good. Yeah, that makes sense. Plus, hopefully, we haven't figured out stats yet, but I'm going to plan on taking charisma-based skills, some perception, deception, that sort of thing, to try to be that face personality. So I think that would be another reason, like, I can talk and kind of work my way into places.
Maybe you got that extra bowl of porridge for me in the orphanage, as you convincingly said, "Please, sir, may I have some more?"
Oh God. Yeah. So as far as equipment, because of this, I get a small knife, a map of the city, a pet mouse, which I'm not sure how much I'll use, but we'll see. A token to
remember your parents.
Token of parents. I was trying to make it so I didn't take up more than this long.
Yeah. I mean, you are limited on your character sheet.
Common clothes and a measly 10 gold pieces.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. That's actually a lot for an urchin, little for a adventurer. So we will I'll figure out the personality and background and stuff later. But as far as that goes, that's kind of the starting position for this. We are going with Bard, so that will give me light armor proficiency.
Yep.
Now,
weapons are simple weapons and crossbows, long swords, rapiers, and short swords. So quite a bit of options.
Yeah.
To choose from when you get your weapons. You get 3 musical instruments of your choice.
I will decide that at some other point. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. And your saving throws are dexterity dexterity and charisma.
Dexterity and charisma. Well, that makes awesome sense as far as especially the charisma. And I think I will favor dexterity as probably one of my secondary or tertiary stats, depending on what I roll.
And now you get 3 skills of your choice.
Yeah, which is cool. It's 3 skills of your choice. So it's anything I want from the list at all. So I think we talked about persuasion.
Absolutely.
Deception. And I am thinking probably a perception. Although insight, I think, would come in handy. I think being a face, insight will be pretty important.
Most definitely. None of these skills I am absolutely good at.
And that's kind of the point. So
exactly.
Try to fill that out. All right, I guess I need to finally come to the moment of reckoning and roll some stats, huh?
And those that didn't catch our previous video, we are doing 46, drop the lowest dice.
Yeah, so definitely check out Dave's video if you came across this one first, because that will be a pretty cool way to tell what's going on.
Yeah.
So my first roll is not bad. I rolled a 14 on my stats.
I'll write this down for you. 14.
13 is my next roll.
Okay.
Not quite as good as Dave's start, but that's okay. Oh, I got to die down.
To be honest, I did officially roll Dungeons and Dragons official dice.
Yeah, I'm rolling one for my buddy's company. They don't do bad. They're just not as good as yours were. 13.
13. Okay. Halfway done.
Oh, and another die fell to the ground. Come on. Good number. Oh, yeah. There we go. 16.
Awesome.
Thanks to rolling a 6 on the one I dropped on the ground.
Oh, true.
15. Here we go. Finishing out strong so far.
Yep. Oh, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4.
One more.
One more. Yep.
Oh, no. That doesn't so. That's not looking so great. 9. So it was looking a lot worse than the one I dropped on the floor.
Still not bad. I mean,
no.
9 or 10 is kind of average for your character.
Yeah.
So should we go ahead and plug in your race next before we plug in your stats?
Yeah. So I think we're definitely going to go with a halfling, but let me check again.
And once again, those that didn't catch the first video, we both come from an orphanage in Umberhaven called Safe Harbor Orphanage. I was a criminal, or a young criminal that got caught and basically got thrown into the orphanage. A member of the Labyrinth, which is our thieves guild within the city, caught wind of my criminal activity because I did something pretty bad. And he recruited me. And also kind of made me an insider / recruiter in the orphanage, which I found Bill's character, which I immediately recruited him into the organization.
I think we made that bond partially because we're halflings, probably close to the same age. We haven't fleshed that part out yet, and we're in this orphanage at the same time. I'm going to lean towards the Lightfoot halfling in this case because he does get that charisma bonus, and kind of like the naturally stealthy, the ability to hide even when you're obscured only by a creature that is at least one size larger than you. Just the idea of like an urchin moving around the city, kind of hiding amongst crowds. I think that's
absolutely. I mean, and that I can see your profile being that way. So
cool. All right. So now I know I'm going to get dexterity and charisma benefits there. What were my stats again?
Okay, so do you want to start with your lower stats or your highest stat?
Yeah. No, I mean, if you can read through them all again, I know I had A16, but
Okay, so your first die roll was 14, then it went 13, then it went 13, 16, 15, and 9.
Okay, 16, 15, 14, 13, 13, 9. Okay. It's a good, I mean, strong array. I'm not complaining at all. So I think he is all about the words, not about the fighting. So his strength score is going to be his kind of weakest position. Not much of a scrapper. So we're going to put the 9 into strength. So then I have 2 13s as my next air quote. Yep. So that's going to be, I think I'm going to put one into Constitution. So he's not quite, again, he's not a fighter. He's not as sturdy or stout, being a Lightfoot.
Indeed.
And let's see, I'm thinking intelligence. He's smart, but not, 13's so smart. Oh, so I put that on the wrong spot. 13's smart, but it is not like his strongest suit. So we're going to put that there. And then I have a 14, 16, and 15. 14, 15, 16.
14, 15, and 16, yes.
Okay, so I think what I'm going to do here is... Oh, man, do I just go big on here? Yeah, I think we're going to go big here. This is going to be my 16 here, which jumps up to an 18 because I'm a halfling. So I'll be a +4 there as well.
Awesome.
14, 15. Then my charisma is going to be my 15 with the +1 there. Gives me a 16, +3 there. And my wisdom is going to be my 14 and get a +2 there. I was really debating just making dexterity and wisdom both 16s. So then I'd have 3 +3s. But I kind of like the idea of him being super dexterous and super into that. So
absolutely. And it carries over with both of our characters being on that same level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's probably another point of bonding because we were able to kind of match each other as far as some of that, being able to be quiet and sneak about, do all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm going ahead and just quickly filling in my saving throws here, having proficiency in dexterity and charisma. Those are going to be my strong suits. And then I chose 3, so dropping in my various attributes in all these areas. There's other character sheets too, so if you're out there and this is weird because they do break them, they do it alphabetically here, which I find easier to find when you're playing, but there are some I've seen that have them based on the attribute that you're using. So all the wisdom would be grouped up, all the intelligence would be grouped up.
Yeah, and those are really, really neat, to be honest.
They're not bad. I do like these quite a bit the standard way, just because I'm so used to it. That, and it's all alphabetical. So when someone goes, oh, give me a persuasion roll, you just look for the P's and, plug that in really quick. Whereas otherwise, sometimes you're like, okay, hold on, let me find... what stat is that? Okay.
But I mean, if you're familiar with the stats and kind of know where's what and what is where, then the other character sheet would be highly useful.
Of course. All, again, just down to your personal preferences there. All right, so that looks pretty good. As a bard, I believe I get a D8. So my total hit points
D8.
is going to be 9. I'm not.
Which is D8 plus your Constitution modifier.
Yeah. Oh, and I don't think I did this on yours. I forgot to put in the hit die. But it's set by your level and your class, yep. So it just kind of flows in there. All right, so that's not bad.
Ready for equipment?
Yeah, let's figure that out.
Okay, so a bard says you start with the following equipment. In addition to the equipment granted by your background, you can choose a rapier, a longsword, or a simple weapon. That's the first category. The second category is a diplomat's pack or an entertainer's pack. That's category 2. The third category is a lute or any other musical instrument.
Okay.
And then lastly is leather armor and a dagger.
Which is, this part's kind of an annoying thing, is that leather armor is bad armor. And studded leather's not that much more expensive, but that's what I start with. So what I went with here is I went with the rapier. That is it's a finesse weapon, so you can use your dexterity towards that. Is definitely a strong suit here. It does a d8 of damage, so that's a good damage dice equal to the longsword. So there's really no reason to look for a different weapon. For now, I wrote in Diplomat's pack. I don't remember off the top hand what is in there, but I am thinking because I am more charismatic that might be more my suit. But let me look really quick. It includes a chest, 2 cases for maps and scrolls, a set of fine clothes, a bottle of ink, an ink pen, a lamp, 2 flasks of oil, 5 sheets of paper, a vial of perfume, sealing wax, and soap. What was the other one? Entertainer's bag.
Entertainer's bag.
That comes with a backpack, bedroll, 2 costumes, 5 candles, 5 days rations, water skin, and a disguise kit. And I do think I come with a disguise. Well, I got a disguise kit for being a urchin.
There you go.
Or at least proficiency.
I think it might be. Let me check real quick.
Yeah, I don't think you got one. I think I just get proficiency.
Yeah, you don't get one. No.
All right, so then we're going to go with Entertainer's Pack because a lot of those things sounded used.
And also, the way you described how he was on the streets would fit perfectly with Entertainer's Pack to begin with.
Yeah, as I'm looking through it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's definitely better than Diplomats. Okay, I've chosen a lute because it's simple, kind of guitar-esque instrument you might have. Put down the leather armor, so my armor will be a little bit weaker than yours, at least to start with.
Yeah.
That is 11 plus my dexterity modifier, which gives me a 15, 25 feet here.
Oh, and did you write down the dagger?
I did write down a dagger now.
Okay.
Yeah, that was only one option, so I had kind of brushed past that.
Now, the cool thing, like my character, is you get spells.
Mm-hmm.
You know 2 cantrips of your choice from the Bard spell list. You learn additional Bard cantrips of your choice at higher levels as shown in the cantrips known column of the Bard table.
So let's see. Bard cantrips, quite a bit to choose from. Them. Yeah, they're not really restricted by a lot. So I don't necessarily need message because you have that and I can apply to you. So here's a question, because friends is like the quintessential face thing. And I think that's a good one. The downside is in the way it's written is the other creature will know that it happened once it wears off.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I'd take that anyways.
I mean, especially since if we were constantly on the move.
Yeah, it's not like
not staying in one place for an extended amount of time. I think that would be a good option to choose for sure.
I think so too. And
we definitely wouldn't want to do. You definitely wouldn't want to do that on our local bartender that we hang out often at.
Oh no, that's like I need to get into this building really quickly. Let me use it on this guy to convince him that we should be allowed to be in there, sort of thing.
Yeah.
All right. Now I'm kind of torn between 2 other kind of just.
And for those that don't know, Friends reads, for the duration, you have advantage on all charisma checks directed at one creature of your choice that isn't hostile toward you. When the spell ends, the creature realizes that you used magic to influence its mood and becomes hostile towards you. A creature prone to violence might attack you. Another creature might seek retribution in other ways at the DM's discretion, depending on the nature of your interaction with it. So the next option, what were you thinking?
So I'm kind of going between a minor illusion, which I think is probably where I'm going, or just the catch-all prestidigitation, because it can do a lot of little things. Because you can even make an illusory like trinket that you can fit into your hand.
Oh wow! It seems to last longer too.
Well, the trinket will only last till the end of my next turn, so it's a very short one. But other things like you could make a color, a small mark, or symbol appear on an object. That might be good to let people know what's going on. Chill, warm, or flavor up to a cubic foot of non-living material for 1 hour. It's whatever. but like food or something. You can clean or soil an object, instantaneously light or snuff out a candle, which is cool, but it has to be within 10 feet, so somewhat more limited there. You create an instantaneous, harmless sensory effect such as a shower of sparks, puff of wind, faint musical note, or an odd odor.
Yeah, a lot of uses for it. I will, and not only uses, but useful uses.
Yeah.
I can think of a dozen ways to use that in our profession.
Yeah, I think prestidigitation, just because of the versatility. I also like the idea of either like being able to make his clothes look like it's all dirty or all clean instantly. Could definitely be part of his standard array of things he does to like throw off.
If we ever did get into combat, it would definitely clean off the blood.
Yeah. Or even like you go in a job all dirty and then you're running, and as you're running you just clean your clothes off so it looks like you're someone totally different when they do see you.
Absolutely.
All right. Now, as far as spells, I think we get a lot of options here. Trying to find the spellcasting section really quickly. Okay, spells known at first level. I know 4 spells on my list.
Which is quite a few.
Yeah, so first level spells. Again, I'm going to look for probably things that could help us out here. I think one that I'm going to take, just because it is a staple in anything, is Healing Word.
Yeah.
There's only 2 of us, and this one I can do at range, so I might be able to keep us up and running a little bit longer.
And Healing Word reads, a creature of your choice that you can see within range regains hit points equal to 1d4 plus your spellcasting ability modifier, which helps because I have Cure Wounds on top of that. So
So we can both do some sort of healing. I can do mine from a bit of range, but you're also able to take more of a hit. So if something happened to me, you may be able to get to me to bring me out of it.
Absolutely.
I think, of course, given what I am into, Disguise Self.
Yes, absolutely. Disguise Self reads, you make yourself, including your clothing, armor, weapons, and other belongings on your person, look different until the spell ends or until you use your action to dismiss it. You can seem 1 foot shorter or taller and appear thin, fat, or in between. You cannot change your body type, so you must adopt a form that has the same basic arrangement of limbs. Otherwise, the extent of the illusion is up to you.
So I'm liking that one, and I've got 2 more to choose from. A couple things I'm looking at. All right, I think what we're gonna do next is there's gonna be times I'm gonna want a quick escape, and being able to get off a roof onto the ground quickly, safely might be useful. So I'm gonna take Featherfall.
Yes, Featherfall is very handy in that predicament. Featherfall reads, choose up to 5 falling creatures within range. A falling creature's rate of descent slows to 60 feet per round until the spell ends. If the creature lands before the spell ends, it takes no falling damage and can land on its feet, and the spell ends for that creature. That will be nice. Very, very nice.
I'm looking at 2 now, so I'm just going to quickly give an idea of. So I'm debating now. Maybe you can help me the thoughts of sleep, because you can put, obviously you can put characters to sleep. That might be a good way to get in somewhere, like put the guards to sleep or whatever. Another one, just out of like a fun, like weird things you can do with it, is Unseen Circle. And that allows you to create an invisible, mindless, shapeless force that performs simple tasks that you command until the spell ends. So it springs into existence in an unoccupied space on the ground within range, which is 60 feet. It has an AC of 10, 1 hit point, whatever, strength 2, can't attack. But once on each of my turns, as a bonus action, I can command it to move up to 15 feet and interact with an object, or pick something up, bring it to me, sort of thing. It can perform simple tasks that a human servant can do, such as fetching, cleaning, mending, folding clothes, lighting fires, serving food, pouring wine. Once you give the command, the servant performs the task to the best of its ability till it completes it, then waits for another command. But it has to stay within 60 feet.
You know what would be neat to see? You cast Unseen Servant and I cast Mage Hand, and those 2 interact with each other inside a room.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cool things you can do with both of them. The nice thing about Unseen Servant is no one would see it. The downside, I think, is just maybe the distance, but I think the Mage Hand has a similar
It does.
Feet is about its range or something like that. So
Mm-hmm.
I think for now I'm going to go with Unseen Servant.
Okay.
I think definitely we'll look at Sleep as possibly like a second level pickup.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
I think it has uses, but I think maybe growing up on the streets and in an orphanage didn't really do a lot of putting people to sleep, but I would have perhaps had a servant that helped me out or perform tricks when I do like street performances. It can help me with the tricks.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe more of a magic act sort of a thing versus a straight just I'm playing music. Yeah. So is there not much else? I guess the other major thing, and of course I didn't add on to your sheet or this sheet the halfling abilities, but
Oh, yes.
fine. We can worry about that later.
Don't forget about spellcasting ability.
Oh, yeah. I forgot to put that down here, right? The
yes.
Ability score here is Charisma, which mine is a 16, so that puts me at a 13. Oh, wait, this part Charisma. This part 13 is my spell save DC, and I have how many slots? I have two slots. So 2 slots that I can cast 2 first level spells. Cool. Spell attack bonus. Oh, I forgot to put that on yours too, but that's going to be a +3, or no, +5 because it's proficiency plus charisma.
Now, don't forget about your bardic inspiration.
Yeah, so I'm putting down bardic inspiration D6, 10 minutes. And so what that does is I can inspire others through words or music. To do so, I use a bonus action and choose a creature within 60 feet. So I'm putting that down so I know the distance. And then they can, within 10 minutes, use it to attack roll or saving throw, ability check, attack roll, or saving throw and make. Add that dice to that number. And there's some unearthed arcana that is expanded that I don't have it in front of me now. And we'll maybe talk whether we're going to use that or not. Probably.
Yeah, we have been pretty open with using as much of the rule system as possible.
You can use this feature a number of times equal to your charisma modifier. You gain any expended uses when you finish a long rest. So charisma modifier for me is a +3, so 3 times per long rest. Although I have plenty of room, so I'm going to do here charisma mod times per long rest. So as I level up, that will be there. Cool. And that I think's generally the character. Unless I missed I think that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll fill out ideals, bonds, and flaws later. I want to kind of go through those and see what I think fits this story I've crafted around this character. So anyone watching, definitely thank you for that. Hopefully you took from this, not just, is this, this is the build or whatever. This is a build. This is just a walkthrough of how we did this. But you can also kind of see how I went from not 100% sure what I was going to play, then to kind of be like, okay, a bard. Okay, kind of had the idea of the urchin already. So how does the bard urchin fit in? Well, now that's a face character. All right, now this is going to dictate stats. This is going to dictate where things land. And it's a great way to build a character.
As well as we mentioned it in the previous video that we're basically playing two thief-like characters from a guild known as, or a thieves guild known as the Labyrinth. And this is a perfect example of not playing rogue characters only to build thieves. So my character is our artificer, and Bill's character is a bard. So
yeah.
As you can see in both builds, they're very much thief-like. So
yeah, and I think in this sort of situation, because we're planning on running this as kind of like a co-DM'd adventure sort of story that we do, that we wanted to kind of highlight different builds, different things you can do, and be able to fill in for the weaknesses that we have, not being a 4-person party, not being certain specific things. And also because we're both playing non-rogue thieves, to maybe put a rogue in there that would get expertise and all those things would probably overshadow what the other character can do in a similar thing. Whereas in this case, we're fairly well matched, and that might change as we advance in levels.
Absolutely.
How we put our stats and everything. But in general, that's going to be there, and we're going to have our areas of expertise. And that, I think, is going to be a lot of fun to play around with and explore.
For sure.
All right. So thank you, everyone, for watching. Please like, subscribe, tell a friend. We're growing our channel. Let them know, and hopefully you'll be tuning in to Umberhaven when that story kicks off. We don't know what's going to happen, so
Absolutely
we're
not.
discover it together as a group. We still are going to be putting together some roll charts and stuff so that the story itself will be a little bit more of a mystery to us as well. And what we would like as we go is to be able to include you guys in that storytelling process. So having ways for you to submit roll tables to us, for you guys to suggest plot points, maybe some votes in the community. We'll try to work all of that out. So check out all the social media links that we've got linked all over this page here, and keep an eye out for our next thing that we're going to be working on.